Hello, my name is LeftBurst, and I am the biggest Beyblade YouTuber in America, at least currently, until someone passes me. Anyway, so because I'm a Beyblade YouTuber, my job is to basically spend an outrageous amount of money on competitive fidget spinners. I have an absolutely ginormous Beyblade collection, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys, so let's just get started. Welcome to the LeftBurst studio, and right away you're greeted by the wall of shoe. Anyway, on the left we have a bunch of Pokemon cards, Pokeballs, and Pokemon plushies, but on the right, this is my shelf of Beyblades. It looks so awesome on camera, actually. I have the single layers, the dual layers, the God layers, the Chozy layers, the GT layers, the Sparking, and of course, the Dynamite Beyblades. Every single Beyblade, including prize Beyblades. And they're on these custom-made stands that I modeled and 3D printed and labeled. Look at that, every single Beyblade has their own label. It took me a really long time to do this, but honestly, it's so cool, and especially when you walk into the studio and this is the first thing you see, it's flippin' awesome. And not only that, right below it, I have every single volume of Beyblade Burst. I kind of want to go through these because the volume covers are really cool. Here's the first one with Volt and Chew. I think another one of my favorites is this one right here. It has Xeno Excalibur on it. Yes, look at that. That's so sick. Volume number 5 though might be my favorite cover. Oh my gosh, it's so sick. You have Louie in the back, Shu and Zack the other Spin Emperors, and Volt in the middle, although they're missing out on Xander. But volume number 9 might be a close. Actually, this one might be my favorite. Look at that. You have Red Eye with its mask shattered. Free looking like a complete menace on the right. Louie super cocky and confident. Volt in the middle. And then we have a clash between two of the best Beyblades ever released. Spriggan Requiem and Nightmare Longinus. Oh man, I honestly, I can't even read these because they're all in Japanese, but I just have them for the collection. But if that was my whole collection, this video would be pretty short. So let's move on to something I know you guys want to see. The expensive stuff. So let's look at all of my prize Beyblades, and for those who don't know, the Japanese producers of Beyblades, Takara Tomy, released these things called random boosters. They love them because it makes them a lot of money. Basically, they're just Beyblade mystery packs. You have a 1 in 8 chance to pull the prize Beyblade, and these prize Beyblades can go anywhere from like $50 to literal hundreds of dollars. So let's look at my prize Beyblades, and I'll have the price on screen of each one as we go by them. Starting it off with Random Booster Volume 1, here is Trident. I actually have 2 of them. This is a special recolor that you can only get by winning in tournaments. Next up, we have probably the rarest prize Beyblade, Evil Eye. For some reason, Random Booster Volume 2 is extremely hard to come by these days. To even buy a booster, it's like over $100. So to buy a booster and pull the prize Beyblade, this thing is gonna cost you a pretty penny. Then we have Jaeger Yggdrasil. This guy is definitely a lot more affordable. I have 2 Quad Quetzalcoatl's, 1 Giant Gaia. I love this Beyblade. I dropped it. 2 Tornado Wyverns, and to this day, I still think this thing has an amazing gimmick. Look at this free spinning ring. 3 Maximum Garudas, aka the banana. 1 beautiful Shell Terreculus. I love the color scheme on this Beyblade. It looks so nice. 2 Bika Kulkins. Moving on to Chozy, I have probably the lamest prize Beyblade in my hand, Crash Ragnarok. I got 2 of them. Then I have 1 Vice Leopard, another underwhelming prize Beyblade. 2 Air Knights. Chozy's prize Beyblade game was pretty weak. Actually, I take it back because next up, oh my goodness, this might be my favorite prize Beyblade ever released. Here we have Dead Hades. This thing is gorgeous. I love this Beyblade, but it does cost quite a bit. For GT, I'm gonna lump them all together because none of these Beyblades actually appeared in the anime. If I had to pick a favorite, I would say probably Naked Spriggan or Flare Dragon. But combined, this is how much they're worth. For Sparking, we went back to the cool prize Beyblades, and some of these Sparking Beyblades are wildly expensive. First off, I have 2 Cursed Satans, 2 Infinite Achilles, which are both very expensive Beyblades. Another expensive Beyblade in Hollow Death Scyther, an Abyss and Death Diabolos, and 2 Black First Uranuses. Finally, we're on to the last series Dynamite, and we're starting off with 3 Cyclone Ragnaroks. Then we have 2 Roar Bahamut. You know, I did say Dead Hades was my favorite prize babe, but Roar Bahamut might be even cooler. I mean, just look at this thing. It is such a shame that surprise Beyblade and not many people can get it, especially now. These things are really expensive. Up next, I have 3 Chain Kirbyuses. I really love this Beyblade, but sadly it's not that great. But our final prize Beyblade definitely does not disappoint. Here I have 3 Wind Knights. Wind Knight, in my opinion, is probably the best burst layer ever released. And yeah, those were all my prize Beyblades. Here's a combined total of how much they all cost. So that was the prize stuff, and next up, let's go to the complete opposite end, my endless amount of spare Beyblade parts. I don't think you guys are ready for what's in this box. This thing is absolutely massive. Shout out to Hasbro, they gave it to me. Not the Beyblades inside, but are you ready, guys? Oh my, even I'm surprised when I open it. These are all of my extra Beyblade layers. It is so deep. Basically, when I don't have like a basically stock combo, I just throw the layers in here. I throw the discs in here. Oh yeah, these are all my extra discs, and these are all my extra directors. It is absolutely insane. So yeah, let me just pull out a Beyblade here. Here we have a gold World Spriggan, a White Knight Valkyrie, that's cool. Geist Fafnir with a Cho Z chip, a Guilty Fafnir, that's a really cool recolor. Oh, this thing is awesome, a Brave Lucifer. Even I'm surprised when I look through this. There's just so many Beyblades inside of it. This is an actual combo, this shouldn't be in there. But yeah, okay, here's just a random wind layer. Gold Spriggan Requiem, Ultimate Valkyrie, and yeah, the list goes on and on. I swear, I think I have over 1,000 Beyblade layers in here. It's super crazy. And then here, again, all of my discs. These are like the discs, the frames, the chassis, a bunch of metal. It hurts my hands to go through. This is like the ultimate random battles. Imagine showing up to a tournament and bringing this many Beyblade parts. But yeah, I definitely do not need all these Beyblades, so maybe sometime in the future I'll do like some real life random battles tournament where I just give away Beyblade parts, because like what am I gonna do with this stuff? But I swear, I think this whole entire spare parts of collections, this has to be worth like at least a couple $1,000s in of itself. Anyway, let's move on to the next part of my collection. This stuff is really cool and it probably is like the bulk of my collection, but I have a lot more cool Beyblades that I want to show you guys. Oh wait, actually, I totally forgot about these. Shout out to Hasbro again. They always give me these boxes, which are great for storing my Beyblades. Here are my bulk stock combos, my extra stock combos. So we have stuff such as Orb Aegis with Quest. I have an extra like Dynamite Belial, a bunch of extra Belials. Here is my extra Fafnir, Astral Spriggan, and yeah. Let me see if I can find a rare or expensive stock combo Beyblade in here. Okay, well here I have an extra prize Beyblade Chain Kirby, so I guess I didn't show that guy. Ooh, a Prime Apocalypse? Even I'm surprised what I find in these things. Oh my goodness! Video El Drago Burst version? I have an extra one of that? And an extra El Drago. Anyway, so yeah, that's my bulk of parts, my bulk of stock combos. Again, these things probably make up most of my collection, but I still have some really awesome stuff I want to show you guys, so let's go to that. So those are my spare Beyblade parts, but let's move on to something strange, the weirder parts of my Beyblade collection. First off, I have a Lego version of our logo. You can't even really tell the difference. A Pinecone Beyblade, a Fidget Spinner Beyblade, a Green Bay Wheel, let it rip. Some of the original tops that Beyblade is based on. These things are called Bagomas and they're pretty sick. A Diamond Beyblade, to this day, this is still the most viewed video on my channel. A Beyblade, but it's combined with a Wii U game. A giant Spring Beyblade. You know what, let's move on to cooler stuff. Here I have a metal 3D printed armor for Infinite Achilles, so I guess I actually have 3 Infinite Achilles. A metal printed armor for Deep Chaos. A metal frame. Oh, this is probably my favorite. Metal Dead Phoenix armor. This Beyblade is really OP. But what's even more OP is this fully metal Leon Beyblade. But I have something even cooler than that. Watch this, guys. 3, 2, 1, go shoot. It's a Happy Meal McDonald's Beyblade. Speaking of micro Beyblades, I got 2 of them. Here's a Mad Minoboros and a Siege Excalibur. Then the exact opposite, here are my super tall tornado pencil Beyblade things. I just dropped one. Next, I have my light up Valkyrie. When you spin it, it lights up. I'm not sure if you can see it. Let me try turning off the lights. All right, what about now? There you go, it lights up orange. That's pretty cool. Next, I have my remote controlled race striker, a couple knockoff Beyblades. Hello Kitty, I know this one's an official Beyblade release, but I thought it was funny, so I wanted to include it. Flaming Hot Cheeto, to this day, probably my favorite 3D printed Beyblade. Prominence Wyvern, a fusion between Wyvern and Prominence Phoenix. It has the Phoenix armor, but it's free spin just like Wyvern's gimmick. Probably my second favorite 3D printed Beyblade I own. Here is a Dynamite version of Zeus, Stardust Zeus. Then I have a fusion of Bahamut and Longinus, and a Dynamite Salamander evolution. And yeah, those are all my weird Beyblades. Now I know most people unbox and play with their Beyblades because, well, they're toys. But what if I told you stonks? It's so stupid. So before we start, I just want to show you guys how much unopened Beyblade product I have, and oh my goodness guys, I didn't know I had this much until I started recording this video. So yeah, let's see how much these are worth now. To be honest, I haven't seen most of these boxes in years. I didn't even know I had half this stuff. So we'll see how much the boxes have appreciated in value. Starting it off with the first Beyblade ever to be released, B01. Here we have Valkyrie. So this is the starter set. It comes with the Baylock or launcher and Valkyrie. I also have the balanced version with Spriggan. Pretty cool. Then I have a Kirby starter set, a Death Scyther starter set, Horror Sued, Neptune, Odin, and Random Booster Volume 1. This thing is pretty rare and it'll cost you a pretty penny. So that's all the single layer stuff I have. To be honest, I wish I bought more because those things went up in value like crazy. Anyway, let's move on to my dual layer stuff. Of course, I have a Victory Valkyrie, my favorite Beyblade Storm Spriggan. I only have one in box. I wish I bought more because these things are pretty rare. A Xeno Excalibur with the sword launcher, the triple booster set with Nova Neptune, a Lost Longinus, and a special gold dragon version of Lost Longinus. This thing is awesome. So yeah, that was on my dual layers. Not that many, but I do have a lot of Evolution Beyblades, so let me grab those real quick. Okay, I want to start this off. Why do I have 4 Siege Excaliburs unboxed? I don't even remember buying these things. Anyway, next up, I have a Nightmare Longinus, one of the most beautiful Beyblades ever released. I have the 3-on-3 set with Galaxy Zeus and Guardian Kirbyus, 2 Legend Spriggans, a Screw Trident, a Blaze Ragnarok, Random Booster Volume 9, Random Booster Volume 8 with the prize Beyblade the Banana, a Korean Alter Chronos, and a special black version of Spriggan Requiem. This thing is really rare. You know, I thought I had a lot of Evolution Beyblades, but then I realized I just have a lot of Siege Excaliburs. Okay, next up, Cho-Z. Starting it off, here's a Buster Excalibur, the Cho-Z Triple Booster with Hazard Kirbyus, Cho-Z Achilles, Bloody Longinus. At the beginning of Cho-Z, they decided to change the package. I guess people didn't like it that much because they changed it back to the box later. This one's pretty big. Here I have the Cho-Z custom set. As you guys can see, this is the set that comes with Cho-Z Spriggan and Orb Aegis, a pretty expensive set. And then finally, the last Cho-Z product I have is this. It's the Beyblade Burst Switch game, and it comes with a special recolor of Shining on Materials. On to GT. This time I have another triple booster set, except this time the featured Beyblade is Lord Spriggan. At the time, this Beyblade was super OP. You also get a Dread Bahamut, which is pretty cool. Then I have an Ace Dragon, Zwei Longinus, Judgment Joker, Random Booster Volume 18, the GT Custom set with Regalia Genesis and Apocalypse. And guess what, guys? I actually have a second one. I opened it up a little, but as you can tell, it has the gold turbo Beyblades inside of it. So I have the normal one, and then I have the gold turbo version as well, still in its packaging, so pretty expensive. This one comes with 2 gold turbo Beyblades because you get Prime Apocalypse and you get Regalia Genesis. And then finally, the last GT Beyblade I have is this exclusive, a blue Lord Achilles. This thing is beautiful. All right, now it's time for sparking. First off, I have a Random Booster Volume 21, a Random Booster Volume 20, Random Booster Volume 24, Lucifer the End, and then finally a Brave Valkyrie. That's all the sparking I have. In the final Beyblade series, we have Beyblade Burst Dynamite. I have 3 Random Booster Volume 29s, a Divine Belial, and then a Savior Valkyrie. So yeah, besides that, I'm not gonna go over all of these Hasbro Beyblades. Well, let's see if there's any significant ones. I'm pretty sure these are just normal Hasbro Beyblades. They really don't go for much, although I think the Mirage Fafnir actually is better rubber than the normal Takara Tomy Mirage Fafnir, so that one might go for more. Oh, and of course, we have an inbox Cheeto. Then I have a bunch of X Beyblades. You know, earlier in the video, I said I didn't expect to have this many, but I actually, after looking at all of it, I remember having a lot more. So I'm gonna go check storage and see if there's anything in there. All right, let's turn on this light. Oh, right away, look at this. Okay, a fake Beyblade, another fake Beyblade. Oh, we have the Pro Series. What is this? A Metal Fight Galaxy D Pegasus set. Is that worth anything? And then we have this guy right here, Beyblade Quad Strike, the Drop Stadium. Okay, and inside of here, oh my gosh, so many. We're not going through that. And then the oh, no way. Okay, so in my storage room, I found, oh my goodness, this giant box, and it's filled to the brim with unopened Beyblades. What the? I have more Siege Excaliburs! How many of these things do I have? Okay, well, obviously, I'm not gonna go through all of these. This is way too much, but here we have a Vanish, another Random Booster, a Bahamut. Wait, this is really expensive. Random Booster Volume 26. Yeah. All right, let's see if we can find anything cool though. For the Beyblades I do pull out, we will put them on screen and add them to the total. All right, here we got a World Spriggan. What is this guy? Oh, Random Booster Volume 2 with Infinite Achilles. Oh, Guilty Longinus, he's the GOAT. A Chozy Valkyrie, Random Booster Volume 23 with Hollow Death Scyther. If you pull that Death Scyther, that thing is so expensive. But yeah, like I said earlier, I'm not gonna go through all of these just because there's so many, and the video is already long enough. But yeah, I have a lot of Beyblades in storage, I guess. So that was crazy. Some of those Beyblades were super expensive. But what if I told you guys that I'm stupid and I unboxed some really expensive stuff? So let's look at the expensive Beyblades that would have been way more expensive if I just kept them in the box. So the first extremely rare Beyblade I unboxed is this guy right here. I want you to spot the difference. What is the difference between this normal Beyblade and this extremely rare Beyblade? It's kind of evident, but it's also kind of minute. It is the chassis. So in Beyblade Burst Sparking, every time you bought a Beyblade, you had a 1 out of 72 chance to pull the colored chassis. And honestly, it's not really that cool. It's just red compared to being silver. But this little color change makes the Beyblade like wildly more expensive than a normal one. I only have 2 of these. I have one for Variant Lucifer and then one for Mirage Fafnir. I think the green looks a lot better than the red in my opinion. But this wasn't the first time the Beyblade company did something like this. In fact, the series before Beyblade Burst Rise, they had these things called Gold Turbo Beyblades. I'm sure you've seen them in the anime, but in Japan you had a 1 out of 72 chance to pull the special gold recolor. And this is the only one I have. I only have a Longinus one. And even before that, in the Chozy series, if you bought a Revive Phoenix, there was a 1 out of 72 chance that you would pull this black recolor. Now, it doesn't come with this gold armor, it comes with the black armor. I don't know where my black armor went, so it has the gold armor on it right now. But yeah, there's a 1 out of 72 chance to pull the black Revive Phoenix, and this thing is pretty expensive. And then of course there was the black recolor of Spriggan Requiem, which we talked about earlier. Speaking of Spriggan Requiem, I have 2 gold recolors of it, and probably the rarest version of Spriggan Requiem here is, oh my goodness, Red Axe Spriggan Requiem. This thing is beautiful, and I just had to unbox it. Next up, let's talk about some tamer recolors that I just kind of like. Here we have a white Valkyrie, and you might be wondering, why am I including this in the super expensive Beyblade part of the video? It's because white Valkyrie actually carries over throughout the series. Next up in the dual layer series, we got White Knight Victory Valkyrie. Then in the evolution series, we got White Knight God Valkyrie, and this one actually has the original colored Strike God chip, which is pretty expensive for some reason. After that, we have a white version of Chosi Valkyrie, which I think this one was actually based on a YouTuber. Then we have White Knight Savior Valkyrie, and finally we have an amazing white, black, and gold Ultimate Valkyrie. The only way to get this guy was through a random booster. I'm pretty sure it was a random booster prize Beyblade. I didn't want to include it with the other prize Beyblades though, because technically it's not a new Beyblade, it's just a recolor. And then we of course got something pretty similar with Spriggan. This is probably the most well-known recolor. This is Royal King Spriggan. It was a CoroCoro exclusive, so you couldn't buy it in stores, you had to order it through the mail, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I'm pretty sure it also got its own like manga chapter. Next, let's get back to the super expensive Beyblade stuff, not these cool recolors. Here I have probably one of the rarest Beyblades ever released. Here is the True Green Victory Valkyrie. Now you might be wondering, why is this Beyblade so rare? Well, the only way you can obtain this Beyblade is by winning the Kirin Lottery. There were two versions of the Kirin Lottery. One where you just won this Valkyrie recolor, and another one where you won the Kirin Lottery set. And actually guys, I have two of these True Green Valkyries because I have the set right here. This is, as you can see right there, let me focus. This is the Kirin Lottery Beyblade set. Under 1,000 of these cases were made, and let me just show you guys what's inside of it. So inside, oh my goodness, this thing is gorgeous. But inside of it is every single layer release. The dual layers that were out when this came out, which were only 4. And then of course, the special True Green Valkyrie. And this set, even though like the Beyblades inside, I guess you could just buy normally, this whole set costs around $700. It's crazy. It's probably maybe the most expensive Beyblade product that I own. Anyway, I'm gonna just carefully put this to the side. Let's move on. Next, I have two amazing recolors. This is the Crimson White Drain Fafnir, and it is absolutely gorgeous. The only way you can win this guy is another lottery. In Japan, they love doing lotteries. But basically, this was a lottery prize Beyblade. These things go for a lot as well. And my last lottery prize Beyblade is this guy right here. Probably my favorite recolor of Death Scyther. Here we have, get this guys. It's called Blood Red Dark Death Scyther. Oh my goodness, this thing is sick. And then finally, the last expensive Beyblade in my collection that I want to show you guys is this guy right here. This is Brave Solomon. The only way to get this guy was by winning the Rare Get Bay battle in the LeftBurst Japanese app. So because of that, this thing is pretty rare and pretty expensive. And I just threw it. But yeah, let's move on to the next part of my collection. Throughout this whole video, we've just been looking at Beyblades, but that's not the only part of my Beyblade collection. To even use a Beyblade, you need a Beyblade stadium. And I have so many Beyblade stadiums, and they take up so much space. The Beyblade company just releases so many different kinds, and some are really cool, some are really lame, some are really fun. So let's go check out my collection of Beyblade stadiums next. Starting it off, I have the classic Beyblade stadium, the standard X Beyblade stadium. I actually have two of these. I have a black one and then a clear one. Let's move on to some of the more interesting Beyblade stadiums. Here I have the Zero G Beyblade Stadium. Basically what happens is when you launch Beyblades into it, it rocks. Here is my drop-down stadium. There's 2 levels to the stadium. You start on the top level, then there's a hole, you fall, and you battle to the lower level. It's pretty fun. The Dome Beyblade Stadium. I'm not even gonna try to explain this one. My Bay Warriors Stadium. Here, this is my Mugen Beyblade Stadium. So basically there's a metal attachment that spins a Mugen Beyblade infinitely, and the goal is to try to beat that infinite spin Beyblade. Right now I don't have the metal attachment, but it's somewhere in my studio. This is probably the most aggravating Beyblade stadium ever made. This is the Sparking Blue Stadium. It's super aggravating because look at that. it doesn't have anything to stop Beyblades from falling out. So Beyblades just go on the slope and fall out, and all of a sudden you're out of there, you're dead. Here I have my BB10. This guy's actually pretty expensive. The classic Hasbro Vortex Stadium. My micro Beyblade Stadium, to put in perspective, that's it on top of a normal one. The upgraded DB Stadium, and then the 3-person Burst Stadium. Mine is still in its original plastic bag. And then finally, here we have it. This is my life-size Beyblade Stadium. This is probably my favorite Beyblade Stadium. It just looks so clean and it's so much fun to use. Let me grab my micro Beyblade Stadium just to compare. Look at all these guys. But that's the micro stadium compared to the life-size. That's crazy. But yeah, those are all of my Beyblade stadiums. And that was my whole entire Beyblade collection. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe because you see where all the money goes from these YouTube videos. They go straight back into Beyblades because I have an addiction and a problem. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me. See you guys later. Have a nice day. LeftBurst out.